Welcome to the Cole and And0 broadcast. This is Burn Babylon Burn, you mother bleeping bleepers that want to control everybody. Let's go, King Brandon. Tear down these freaking idiots and the tyrants that want to control us all. That is my little rant for the moment. And let's see if And0's stream
Oh,
gets. Okay, there we go.
yeah. Start over.
It's already live,
Do it
man. It's
again.
already going on.
Fuck it,
Burn,
we'll do it live.
Babylon, burn! Let's get rid of these effing tyrants and all these King Brandons, whether you be Nancy Pelosi, dang it, that freaking Fauci fellow, or freaking King Brandon. Burn,
You know
Babylon,
who's been
burn!
irritating me a lot lately is Dan Crookshaw, the
Man, I
neocon
thought he was
psyopath.
gonna be good. I thought he was gonna be good, and then he was down with the red line laws. Like, man, what the crap did you do? You were on. You actually had support, and then he just blew it
Yeah.
up for no apparent reason. Like, what the crap? You were our pirate lord. Like, you would have actually gone good, and now we all effing hate you. God damn it.
Yep. Oh, he wants a database with your vaccination status.
Mm.
He wants that to exist. He wants that. Yeah.
Why? Why in the
Uh,
bleeping bleepers? Man,
he
that's
doesn't
stupid.
he doesn't serve the people that he represents. He
But
serves
what
the
the
tyrants.
freak
He
got to
serves
him?
the
He started off
yeah.
good and strong. I'm sorry, like I'm pissed off about this
Well,
because he actually
he
started good
had
and strong.
good, strong rhetoric. He was always very much in support of all the wars that kids are gonna have to fight and die in. So he
Wait, where do you go? This is annoying.
ah
There we go.
it says no internet connection.
You're back.
Okay. All right, I'm back. Okay. Anyway, I would argue that he's not been with us the whole time,
I'm
and
saying
that he
he
is
started good. That's all I'm saying.
yeah
He
he
sounded good
is
at the beginning. He
he
sounded
is
good at the
much like
beginning.
Trudeau, a World Economic Forum young global leader. Did you know that?
I
He's
knew
he's
that. Yeah.
tried to if you ever listen to what says, Klaus Schwab, what he says about his young global leaders, it's not anything like it's not like I just put some names on a list. He proudly talks about them like they're people that he brought up. So, um, so if you wonder where this guy's loyalties lie, they lie to the globalists, and that's who he is. That's what he is. And speaking of globalism, let's talk about some uh, global folly that's headed our way, and that is all this saber rattling with Russia. Um, Apparently, as far as I know, this
Why?
okay, there we go. It's still connected. Let me see if I can get this better. Um, anyway, we're the United States. I really don't want to call the United States we anymore because there's really no we to it. The United States under King Brandon's rule just kind of does what King Brandon wants to do. So anyway, we're building sorry, let me fix that again. The United States is building a missile base across the border from Russia, and Russia's putting troops on their side of the border where they're allowed to be, and they're saying that they're getting ready to invade the Ukraine. If they're getting ready to invade the Ukraine, they're getting ready to invade the Ukraine to stop the United States from building this site where they can launch missiles, including nuclear tomahawks, and that is that is not something that I would allow, like, if they, I'm from Texas. If Russia was over in Mexico building a missile base, I would hope that our National Guard would be on the other side of the border, ready to take that missile site out. The United States has been sending lots and lots of money to the Ukraine, and I, I I don't think it's a T. It's actually in the M's, but it's $200 million, which is still quite a bit of money. And if we're suffering from the scamdemic, and all of our shelves are going empty and things like that, then I would say that that $200 million is better spent here than funding the Azov battalion in the Ukraine, who is a bunch of Nazis. They are literal Nazis. And the media, about a year and a half ago, had everybody believing that their neighbors might be secret Nazis. And lo and behold, the United States has been funding Nazis. They've actually been doing it since about, I want to say it was 2014 when they started funding those Nazis over there. But another interesting thing about the Ukraine and how it relates to King Brandon is King Brandon's son, Hunter. Um, he is on the energy board in Burismo, and basically he just collects a check because he did favors, et cetera, et cetera. Have you seen Hunter talk? He might be the smartest person that Brandon knows, but he's a crackhead. I I mean, there is there's no debate about it. We have pictures of him smoking crack, getting footies by hoes, and like messing around with girls that are questionably young. Uh, and this all exists, and the media went to cover it up. Anyway, he's uh, Brandon administration has been dealing, dirty dealing with the Ukraine for a little while now, and so now we're trying to saber rattle with Russia. Like, of all people, you want to mess with one of the biggest nuclear powers in the world. Like, I'm sorry, that's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do. It's fine to pick on the primitive people in Afghanistan who hardly have a rock to sling. By the way, the Afghanistan people are starving right now in droves, thanks to our involvement. We used to dump money on them. That we would go over there and hand them $100 U.S. bills and be like, "Oh, hey, let's be friends." So that is basically what our military was up to for the past 20 years, racking up a debt in the trillions, on basically donating a bunch of military equipment to terrorists. So anyway, yay, fun. More BS as far as, hey, we got to fight this guy, we got to fight that guy. No, we don't. We got to get our economy working right again. Like, the scamdemic has really messed everything up, and if this bill is ever to be paid for, because I don't think it is. I don't think they printed up this money with the intention of solving that problem in the long run. They basically are just going to rack up more and more debt. So, but anyway, our money is better spent on our own people, if we're going to spend any money at all.
So let me give you the. I'm playing devil's advocate here. So, playing devil's advocate, essentially, we are dealing with a situation to where a nuclear power gave up its authority. So, a nuclear power gave up its, by authority, I mean its nuclear weapons. Um, and in, basically with essentially kind of a treaty to where we're going to make sure that we make sure that they're not invaded. And so, why should we ever expect North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons if we leave um, um, Ukraine to fall? Why should we expect, like, if we allow, and the other side of this, if we allow Ukraine to fall, Why? What's stopping China falling? It's like we
So
under Trump.
I
Let me finish.
the
Under
okay.
Trump, we were carrying a big stick. Under Trump, we were carrying a big stick, and he was braggadocious and flamboyant and whatever he was. But he beat these fuckers back. He beat them back and made sure that they did not want to mess with us. And then Biden just took the stick and put it on the ground, and if we let Ukraine fall, what's to stop Taiwan falling? What's to stop people invading other people? And why should anybody give up their nuclear weapons and stop this continual buildup of nuclear weapons? What's to allow for the nuclear weapons stockpile to start diminishing whenever we make a treaty with somebody and we just back off? That's me playing
So
devil's advocate.
uh, as far as nuclear technology goes, we it's like a gun. Now that guns exist and they have for several hundred years, uh, is it effective to argue disarmament from everybody, including the military and police? Just everybody, let's all disarm, or is it? Oh, sorry, I'm seeing the chat. Anyway,
I know I was trying
uh,
to figure out how to respond to it, but I can't.
yeah, I think you press that button that says chat. Anyway, as far as why would Russia want to disarm? Are you talking, I guess, maybe about Ukraine? Ukraine, you could possibly get them to sell you the weapons, which,
So
like, why wouldn't they want something for something that they have that's of a lot of value, and a lot of other countries that don't have any nuclear technology would want? Why would they give it up?
no, just to
There's no
clarify,
reason to.
Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons like 40 years ago with a
Okay,
guarantee that we would back them and make sure they would not be invaded.
okay.
And
Let
I'm not saying it's
let me look at
necessarily
that
us. Like,
agreement, because I have some, like, I've heard some things on that agreement. I want to say that the United States pulled out of that deal
it might have been just
before it was
simply
finished.
Russia,
Yeah,
or sorry, Europe
yeah.
that is holding to it. But there's something there to where they were guaranteed backing if they gave up their weapons, their nuclear weapons, because Ukraine was the main area, if I understand correctly, that the Soviet, under the USSR, Ukraine was the main area that those weapons were being stored or produced, one of the two, and they just gave them up. Because they had guarantees that we would protect them or the West would protect them if they ever got invaded. And once again, I'm still like by bringing up this point, I am playing devil's advocate. Like I don't think we should have fighting people on the ground there, but it is a valid question.
Okay, yeah,
And yes, Burgermeister, Ukraine is a hub for dirty globalist money laundering. I don't think either of us
exactly.
disagree with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the military was in Afghanistan for poppy. Yeah, there's a lot more going on there too. They're growing. They have a lot of marijuana, which is not really an issue because it grows in many places as well. There's apparently a lot of cocaine in Afghanistan. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the global drug trade in Afghanistan.
I thought it
In
was just
fact, like,
poppies. I didn't know it went to cocaine.
oh yeah, it's everything. They got everything. And they're all high AF. So let's see. Yeah, that definitely played a part in that situation. But it was 20 years and several trillion dollars. So yeah.
So, you're right now you're pulling up the Ukrainian agreement for turning over nuclear weapons. Is
Right.
that what you're looking up?
I want to say, yeah, that it was not that it wasn't completed. That deal was not completed, and that Russia swooped in at the last second and made a different deal because the United States started trying to change the deal before it was finished.
It might
Is
very well
if
possibly be like I
okay,
said. I was just by my argument. I was just doing devil's advocate. It's not
yeah.
like I was just
So
I was giving what the warmongers and the opposition to libertarian
gotcha,
ideology
yeah.
is going to give.
Um, but the thing that I want to point out about that too is that uh, if someone has nuclear weapons, I don't understand why they would ever give them up. That would be like, if you're in a society with guns, why would you give up your guns? Like, they exist. You should have one. You should have something that makes you equal to everyone else. If you don't, then it's really it's foolish, especially, uh I can rant on this, is like people rely on the police to defend them whenever the police are never there when you need them. They're always there when you don't need them, and then it's it's like, hey, learn to defend yourself. You have to you have to be able to defend yourself, and also you have to be proactive as your legal uh situation in that, because like, I've heard so many tragic stories of somebody that was defending their own life, and they've ended up in jail or in debt forever based off of a situation that they never asked for, but they would be dead right now because the cops weren't there whenever something went down.
So I mean, but what like Ukraine gave up? I'm just trying to bring it back to the topic. Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons because it expected. Ah, you went away. Well, Andy O is not on stream right now. I'm gonna wait for him to turn back up in the guests list. Thank you, Burger Meister, for your comments. And here's Andy O. There we go. What did
Yo,
you do, man?
okay. Sorry, this thing's through a browser, so I ended up backspacing out of it. Uh, we should get Burgermeister. He seems to have a lot to say in the chat. We should see if he wants to join the stream.
Let's see if he does another.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's there. He's been
I know.
commenting,
I
so
just don't
yeah,
know how to add him if he wants to. That would be a fun one. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
Um,
guests, invite a guest, copy clipboard.
oh, he's coming from YouTube, right?
Yeah. All right. So
Let's see.
my screen is going to go blank for a second here, and I'm going to see if there's anything on the YouTube. How is he on YouTube? I don't have. Okay. Anyway. Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
he just posted a cigarette.
Pretty sure he's talking about something else.
Uh,
Um,
Well, I mean, here, nuclear weapons are so 1980s. It's nanotech bioweapons now. Yeah, it is. That definitely. In fact, it's changing rapidly. It's the pivot now is going to be to cyber
there we go.
attacks. The company I work for recently got cyber attacked.
So
It
Andy, I
didn't
don't
make
know
the
where you
news.
went,
Yeah, I'm right here.
but I did
Uh,
post the StreamYard clip.
okay, cool. Oh, anyway, yeah, maybe he can join us. He seems to be chatty in the chat. Uh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, he sees it.
Hmm.
Okay,
I'll wait for a
cool.
few
And
moments.
yeah, um, but where was I? Yeah, nanobiotech, as far as being a weapon, yeah, that totally exists, and that's totally happening to us right now. Um, but
Andy, I
what we're gonna
lost you.
see, you can't hear me? You can't hear me?
Oh, Burgermeister's camera shy. Dude, you don't even have to
Okay.
have your face on here. You can just turn your cam off and just only speak through the mic.
Yeah, I'm not even at my prettiest today.
Come
Anyway,
on,
the
Burgermeister.
the next thing though
Just
is going to be
join the
cyber attacks,
stream,
and we're already
talk. You don't
seeing
have to
that.
show your face. We have no idea who you are. We'll just call you Burger.
Uh, I'm fine with saying Meister. It's the Burger Man. Come on in, man.
Andy, I still have no idea where you went.
Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sure he can.
Hmm. Chilling, chilling. Hey, Burger, say something else. Hmm.
Let's
Hey,
try this
Andy.
again.
There we go. Well,
Okay.
Burgermeister says he's camera shy, but it's out there if
Oh
he
yeah,
wants to
that's
join.
fine. That's yeah, that's understandable. Um. Anyway, where were we? Oh, cyber attacks. That's a big thing that you're going to see a lot more of. There's a major dairy company that's why cream cheese was like almost non-existent for Christmas, and
I
Philly
didn't know
was
that.
giving away coupons. Yeah, and also my company is one of the largest refrigerated truck carriers in the country was cyber attacked at the end of October. So that's happening. It's happening in the background, but it all plays into the supply chain breaking down. Uh, Everything that's happening is all been war gamed out, and you can find what it's called. There is the hacking attacks that are happening. It's called Operation Cyber Polygon, and you've heard of some major cyber attacks like the pipeline and everything that happened last year. Um, that all ties into that. And then there's also supply chain reaction, which is another thing that's going on. There's so many psyops, and some that they have on the back burner. Some of them are, some of them are ready to go anytime that they need an enemy. And unfortunately for us, the enemy is going to be, they're going to betray us as the enemy. That is what everything's leading to. First, obviously they've come after the MAGA people. They're going to come after I mean, I've seen them already going after Boogaloo Boys, and now the next step on that is to come after the libertarians and anarchists. So really, no one is safe in this situation. Like uh, the funny thing is, it's them doing it. You saw already that the feds were all around that the Gretchen kidnapping. I think something like 13 out of 15 were feds, and then you saw Ray Epps on January 6th. It was a bunch of feds, um, and so this is all it's all created to be consumable for media, and the enemy is basically anyone that's telling the truth right now, and I'm sure that they're going to include include people that are against the shots because they really want you to take your shots, and that's just how they do their thing.
Personally, I think my perspective is that um, the, what the last 2 years has shown me essentially is that the experts don't know what they're doing. I think they're fumbling around. I think they're way more vulnerable than we think they are. Um,
Wow,
what was that?
somebody had a blowout.
Oh, on a tire
Oh,
blowout.
Yeah, it was in the garage. It sounded like the hubcap flew. We don't have hubcaps, but it something came off of it.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was saying is, I don't think they're as organized as we think they are. The
I
bigger a corporation gets, the more fluff, the more bloat gets in there, and the less organized it becomes. And it's just an infrastructure of a house of cards. And I think it's just going to collapse in on itself. That's the area that I err on. I personally think that it's the like for example, right now with the business that I'm working in, we're working with essentially five individuals. On
Yeah,
the my business partner, like separately, I work for him for remodeling houses. Um, in a company with five employees, the amount of information that's not properly shared, the amount of planning that's not properly shared is astronomical. Whenever you get up to a government bureaucratic level where there's millions of people, it's just a chaotic mess, and I think it's just going to collapse in on itself. I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're trying to do something, and whenever it's a lot easier whenever you're in a large group, it's a lot easier to identify. Like for me, I have like three or four different business plans going on, and it's like, okay, you're dealing with that stuff. Okay, you look like you have a good handle on that. I'm not even going to get involved unless you ask me questions. You're just doing your thing, and you just know I'm here in case you want something to do. And then on the other
right.
side, podcasts, essentially the same thing. I'm not the like if you approach things like Trump did to some level. He was a little heavy-handed in certain things, but it's like, hey, I put somebody in control. It's your 24-hour, 24/7 job to figure out what you're supposed to do here, and I'm just going to not get involved. You just make it so that it's not a problem. But whenever you're trying to control this situation and govern things like King Brandon does, and by that I don't just mean Joe Biden, I mean any authoritarian. If you're trying to be an authoritarian dickwad, you create a lot of it's an inefficient system, which is why I like libertarianism ideas, which is small, close to the government. I don't think they are as in control as you think they are. I think they're
Well,
floundering and
it,
they're
it's
trying to bully people.
it's not that they're certain people are definitely cut in, and then there's certain people that like for instance really dumb people. Like have you seen Lori Lightfoot speak? She has probably an IQ of less
Is
than a
that the
hundred.
lady that looks like Gollum?
Yeah, the Chicago mayor. But
Yeah, she looks like Gollum. Yeah.
she's all for their nonsense.
Hmm.
She looks like Beetlejuice from Howard Stern, not Beetlejuice, but yeah. So yeah. Anyway, um, she's really dumb, and she's not she's not cut in. She's just doing the nonsense because it gives her more power. And there's a bunch of them that are like that. But then there's certain people that are on the Council for Foreign Relations. There are people that are in the World Economic Forum. There's people that are cut in, and they all have a global agenda. And I mean, like, yeah, there's forces working in various directions. Even the Rockefellers don't always agree. Like it's a pretty big family, and they're all very powerful, but there's different factions of them, and a lot of things are not working their way. But the orchestration comes to a certain point where the end result is what they had planned, 50, 100 years ago, which is, complete global slavery. And that's really what this is about. Like what we're resisting right now is everyone becoming a slave. And it won't, you won't see your chains. You won't see your bars. It'll be your cell phone. It'll be things that you like, and you'll think that you're doing better because of these things. In a lot of ways, we're already there.
Um, and for me, I would disagree with you on this point. Just as the horse and buggy got taken over by the car, which gave way to way more freedom, like you have a trucking job because of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a new era where they're losing control, and especially because of Trump, he messed up everything for them. And I
Well, I
think
mean,
there's
there's other things at play too. I think one of the other reasons that they're rushing everything right now is Bitcoin. Um, and anything that their control doesn't work on, the internet is too free. They were able to get a lot of what they wanted out of the internet, but they lost a lot of ground there too.
well,
Um,
with Elon Musk, I'm just Elon Musk and his Starlink network. What does that do for
uh-huh.
tyrants in Africa? I'm just saying, like people in Africa are going to have all the information they need to know that to understand that it's not like some tribal thing. It's some guy trying to gain control over the system over that specific area in, let's say, Uganda, and him doing a global network of satellites. Like he's putting them up, and they're supposed to be connecting, like either already
Well, I mean,
connected or connected soon. It like the sharing information
you
should
want to go back to on Africa on this is there was several leaders of Africa that mysteriously died over the year of the COVID tyranny, and they they were either assassinated or they had something happen to them. But the one thing they all had in common is that they weren't on the same page as the globalist. Um, Basically, Africa is always since way back to Cecil Rhodes, or Cecil Rhodes is a better way of pronouncing it because he's British and pronounces it Cecil. Anyway, Cecil Rhodes controlled all the resources in Africa, and and so the people that were put in charge, that are put in charge, are interchangeable. They're all middle managers and they're all expendable. Even Cuomo's expendable. Even Gavin, we just watched Gavin mix the two shots and disappear for 10 days. He disappeared for 10 days after mixing two different shots, which
Gavin who?
anybody
Which
with any
Gavin?
Gavin, California Governor Gavin Newsom.
Okay, I
Um,
was thinking of Gavin McGinnis, and I was getting confused.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I am speaking of gruesome Newsom right now, and
Gruesome
yeah,
Newsom. Okay,
so he took
I didn't even know he mixed two
he's
shots.
yeah, he had the Johnson and Johnson at first, and I believe he took a booster of the Moderna, and then he disappeared for 10 days. So like, if he was cut in, they would probably tell him, hey, here, just take saline and say you did it, because I'm pretty sure that that's what they gave Brandon on TV. It appeared whenever they were shooting Brandon up that they weren't giving him, warp speed gene therapy. They were just giving him the a saline shot so everybody could see it. It was a very mediated situation, and anyway, yeah, these people aren't cut in, but there are people that are, and they're in very key places, and so the orchestration goes the way they want it to, based off of that. I mean, really look at Klaus Schwab, look at the World Economic Forum, and you will see that everything that he wants to happen seems to somehow happen. He'll talk about it, and a year later, that is policy.
I personally still think whenever you get that big, you've just got a lot of weight, and it's going to collapse in on itself. It's not going to be sustainable. Like for me, the way I talk to my business partner is, I want to become a millionaire by helping you become a millionaire, and that means he's going to relinquish certain amounts of authority to me. He's going to allow the authority to trickle down. He's going to relinquish some. If he wants to become a millionaire, he needs to relinquish a little bit of control, and allow me to act freely, and that's going to be my best area of being able to be productive. But if you do the reverse, which is the Democrats and the rhino cons way of doing things, it becomes more inefficient. Um, I think that their whole scheme is going to collapse in on itself. I don't think it's sustainable. Like I'm
Well,
just giving a counterpoint to what you're talking about. I don't think they're as powerful as we think they are. I think they're just a paper tiger.
the thing that you're seeing a lot of these things go away right now. You saw Boris the other day, for instance, give everything up. It was actually beautiful. It was like
Yeah, it
he's like,
was. It was
yeah, I'm
good.
not gonna make the kids wear masks anymore, and you could hear the guys in the background going, yay. But
Yeah, that was funny.
uh, yeah, uh, you saw him give up the entire COVID regime, and it was a wonderful thing. But the infrastructure to control us still exists. He never said that we're going to get rid of these passes. He said we're going to stop. We're not going to federally mandate them, but you can voluntarily, privately mandate them. Um, the thing is, the system exists for them to use for the next thing. They got all this off of something with a 99.8% survival rate. What happens when it's 99.6? What happens when it's 99.1? What happens when it's 95%? The amount of freakout that we saw over the last 2 years, imagine that with something that's actually dangerous and actually lethal. So they have this infrastructure for taking control of everything. They've
Never let a
the thing
crisis
that
go to
we
waste.
right, and we haven't seen it yet in the United States. You've seen it in Australia. They have the quarantine camps in Australia. But in the United States, we have FEMA camps all over the country. And I know it's like, Alex Jones, yeah, the globalists are going to put you in the FEMA camps. But yeah, no, it's real. They exist. And they didn't employ that this time around. Next time,
Well,
we
but they
might not be
couldn't.
so
That's
lucky.
what happened. Like, look, in my opinion, I agree with Sticks and Hex and Hammer. I think I mentioned this in the last one we did, which is just make sure everybody can get guns. Like, just take the Second
Right,
Amendment
right.
and allow it to happen, because they can't. The reason they can't pull Australia off in the U.S. is because everybody has effing guns. Like, I have friends 5 miles from here that if they made them go to those concentration camps, there would be X amount of ex-military out there. Like last Saturday, I was hanging out with like 4 Vietnam vets. And if we gave a phone call, there would be 20 or 30 Vietnam vets hanging out there.
Yeah, I am a big believer that if arms were more prolific in the United States, that the government would be a lot more careful about messing with us. And I do want to say, just if you haven't armed yourself, that you should, that you
Mm-hmm.
need to there's a company called Palmetto State Armory in South Carolina, and they sell AR uppers and lowers for really cheap. You can build an AR yourself, and it's not hard, for about $400. Or if you don't have that much money, you could get yourself a high point pistol. You could buy a Maverick 88 shotgun. Just have something, anything, because the in the Gulag Archipelago, there's a line. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna let you go on a rant. I'm gonna go dig this quote up, because I think it's amazing. But the thing is, yeah, I think that if arms were more prolific in the United States, like they say, an armed society is a polite society, and I totally agree with that. And I want to say also that it's very important that you get training and you get practice, and that you do everything on the up and up as far as legality goes, because you don't want them to come for you right now. And I know some guys, I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, no, don't sign those ATF forms, don't do this, don't do that, but really, like, you don't want to go to prison, too soon. You know what I mean? Like, you you have to deal with these things. They exist, and it's not ideal. It's not like we get an unadulterated Second Amendment, but we still do have some semblance of a Second Amendment. And uh and so do everything legal, stay straight, don't make too much noise, don't talk like an idiot. I don't know if I've even, if I might have said something that could get me in trouble with the feds. I don't know. But it's important that whenever things become extremely tyrannical, that I don't even want it to get to the point that the stormtroopers start showing up at people's places and people have to start dealing with them. I want the stormtroopers to go, nah, I am not doing that. I will quit before you ask me to do that.
Well, and that's what
And
the Japanese said whenever they were
yeah,
asked, "What does it look like to invade America?" There's a freaking gun behind every blade of grass. Back the
yeah,
fuck off. We're
right.
not doing
It,
that. We're not willing to.
I don't think that that's true. I wish it was, um, but like, but you know, get it, learn how to use it, really learn, like they're uh, it's not difficult. You get better every time you do it. It's fun. It's really fun. Like, learn learning is very important. And while we're at it, let's talk about, learning. Uh, learn to achieve your own food. Um, the society that we're in right now is not going to continue to exist. We are going to end up in a food crunch very, very soon. Learn to grow things,
And are you still there?
Are you there? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm facing the possibility slash likelihood that, that when this food crunch really hits us, and you start seeing little things run out. And eventually it turns into a lot of things running out, and that's what happens every time a place goes communist. And what I'm recognizing here is that the United States has adopted so much communism that we're going to face the consequences of that. And the consequences of having communism is starvation. And hey, they learned that in the Ukraine, maybe about 60 years ago. So it there's some tough times ahead, and get as ready as you possibly can. As you know, if you've ever, I don't know if you've listened to him before, but there's a really great guy called Gerald Salente. He says, get in the best shape you can, mentally, physically, and spiritually. That you know and that's the thing that all of us should do. um, and so learning skills, interacting with the world, uh, you know, touching grass is really important. I have to say that too.
Hmm. Burgermeister, your comments are uh, devolving, not adding to. Anyway, so
Okay.
Andy, you driving now?
No, I'm about to get back to driving.
So human wars.
I was
Uh,
looking for that quote, but it seems that if I turn on my hotspot, that I can't use my tablet. Let me see.
huh.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I can use my tablet because the truck stop has Wi-Fi. Anyway, we talked about all kinds of stuff here.
We bridged the gap, And0, and I like it.
Was 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 there a gap? I think we
But
just
we
started
just,
talking.
I mean, we just covered a lot of different things. But I mean, is there any more
Yeah.
to the Ukraine thing? Of like,
Well, I
like
wanted to
with
uh as far as Ukraine goes, I'm gonna be as against it as anyone can be. And
against what?
I'm
Us
not
getting involved, or you Russia?
exactly, yeah, yeah. I don't think that we should be involved.
Just let Europe face the consequences of capitulating.
Yeah,
They should be the ones that stop the Nord Stream pipeline. Like if they really care, they should stop it.
let's let me get that quote for you. I found it here. Okay.
Oh, go for it.
Um, and how we burned in the camps later, thinking, what would things have been like if every security operative, when he went out at night to make an arrest, had been uncertain whether he would return alive and had to say goodbye to his family? Or if during the periods of mass arrests, and for example in Leningrad, when they arrested a quarter of the entire city, people had not simply sat there in their layers, uh, paling with terror at every bang in the downstairs door and every step of the staircase, but had understood that they had nothing left to lose and had boldly set up in the downstairs hall an ambush of a half a dozen people with axes, hammers, pokers, and whatever else they had. The organs would have quickly have darn it, sorry, my screen. Um, The organs would have quickly have suffered a shortage in officers and transport, and notwithstanding all of Stalin's thirst, the cursed machine would have ground to a halt. If we didn't love freedom enough, and even more, if we had no awareness of the real situation, we purely and simply deserved everything that happened afterwards.
What's that mean to you? Well, like, what do you glean from that?
That's he he's saying that if they had loved freedom more, that they would have stood up for themselves and not let themselves be arrested and taken to the gulags. Um, they, the thing is, once they've taken you, once you're on your way to these prison camps, and really that's what they are, you are you're already done for. You're suffering a fate worse than death. You you should you know you should resist this at in every way possible. And so what I'm saying is, we got to be like a cactus and say, don't touch us, really. It they're not they're not going to touch us if we have our thorns. And so I really think that everyone should find themselves a way to arm themselves, and even if it is just an old pump action shotgun, or a cheap high point pistol, or if you actually have money, get into it. Learn as much as you can learn on this, because it appears that we're headed toward uh, that kind of tyranny. So you have to be ready and stand up for yourself.
On that note, the house that I am on that note, the house that I'm looking at buying uh, had a shotgun hole with full-on birdshot through one of the walls, and it's inspired me to whenever I sell my first house that we're looking at selling. I'm setting aside $500 to $1,000 to get a shotgun. Uh, I
Oh,
already
nice.
am. I already am armed, but I'm just saying the shotgun through the wall of the house that I'm buying has inspired me that yeah, I'm getting a shotgun also.
Nice. There you go.
The house that we're hopefully going to close on Monday. It looks like somebody like did WWE wrestling matches inside the house. It looks like somebody like took somebody's body and threw them up against the window and broke the window. Like the house is 10 years old and it's completely demolished. Like everything's messed up except for they left the copper piping and they left the plumbing. So it's all
They left
cosmetic.
the
But like
copper?
I know, like I'm like, what the crap? Like this is good.
Hey, that's
This is
good. That's
good.
good. Yeah.
So it's everything's if things progress that way as properly, that's going to be 25 to $45,000 profit just for me, not counting my business partner. But between me and my business partner, minimum we'll make $50,000 combined, so 25,000
Right.
each in like a month's worth of work.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, oh, there's a shotgun. That means I'm buying a shotgun. We're selling one of my houses. We're going to see a large cash inflow from that, and then it's just inspiring to like, yes, get armed. Um,
Yeah.
like boost up your own security. Get a freaking whatever those like ringtone thingies. I can't remember what they're called. The little ring devices instead of doorknob instead of
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Ring? Is it just called Ring? I think it's called Ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, people are
Just
into this.
just have
I
your
mean,
video
I really,
recording going.
I want I want some land that's, through a forest, up a hill, kind of stuff that, that not many people know about. Only the people I want to know about.
There
And,
we go.
yeah. And that's ideal for me. But, I, um, I'm far enough away from that 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 it's right now it's just a dream. But
How long have you been working in the trucking stuff?
it in May it'll be 2 years,
Uh, it's
so not long
it's
really.
it's it's a little bit more than a dream. Just as long as they
Yeah, I
don't
know.
push
Yeah,
vaccine.
right, right. Yeah, maybe they'll tell you that you have to have the shot in order to get a loan. We're really not that far away from that.
I don't think it's happening in America. I think
Ye-
the pushback from the state powers. I think Steve Bannon has done a great job of mobilizing the local state powers to push back. I mean, Ron DeSantis basically said, if I understand correctly, you cannot mandate vaccines for hospital workers. And then the U.S. government said you can mandate vaccine for hospital workers. So there's going to be some interesting showdowns that are coming up because we're seeing state rights
Oh yeah.
push back against government rights, which is what we want. We wanted to get more and more and more local.
Yeah, that is a good solution going forward. And as far as like as far as electoral politics go, what really matters is who's in your neighborhood, and if they're going to say no, not here. And so if you can, in a way, like I'm on the road all the time. I don't have the luxury of getting involved in local politics. But if you can get involved in your local politics, you can push back on a lot of their nonsense. You can push back on cultural Marxism being critical race theory being taught in schools, by helping elect the school board. You can push back on these vaccine mandates coming to your town by electing the right sheriffs. You can push back all of these things uh, that political way. As much as we'll say it doesn't work. It doesn't work to the extent of you're not going to be able to select your senator for real. As in, they'll give you a primary, and everybody in the primary will be controlled, and you will get somebody that they've decided that they have. But whenever it comes down to local elections, you can actually get somebody that you want to do something. So
Well, this
yeah,
has
bring it
been
back local if you can.
this has been Burn Babylon Burn. Let's see how it goes, and let's hope we go don't get into World War III over Ukraine, because that would be
Yeah,
stupid as
or
hell.
Civil War II, which is even more frightening.
I hear you there, and I'll talk to you later, brother. Peace.
All right, catch you then. Later. Later. Bye.
Bye.